And they keep trying, but they're not going to bring me down. It's just not possible. I mean, I'm surrounded here. I'm going to show you how to do this. Hello fellow Wastelanders, Jeremy here with another Fallout 76 video, and since One Wastelanders for All hit, we've had a completely different experience. There's no more one-shotting everything, and the biggest thing is the enemies scaling to our level, so they can take an increasing amount of damage, and they can dish out an increasing amount of damage. And then we have the aforementioned damage reduction due to the new damage calculations. So in this video, we're going to go over some of the changes that we can make as players to survive in those big fights quite a bit longer, okay? And what we're really going to concentrate on is a combination of perk cards and weapons to just keep us alive, keep us in the fight. So let's just get into it. And here we are. We're in our favorite neck of the woods, which is Huntersville, which is close enough to West Tech, you know, but surrounded, completely surrounded, and not dropping. And no matter what they do, I'm not going to drop. And you're going to see it kind of queuing up in the top left corner there. The trick to all of this, and it's the perk card Ricochet. And what Ricochet does is it reflects incoming damage back, range damage only, back to the attacker. What it doesn't say in the card is that when it reflects that damage back, it does so as if you were shooting. And what that means is we get to take advantage of weapons' legendary effects. So in the case of survivability, vampires. Now, every time we ricochet a bullet back, we get the vampire's effect on us and the healing because of it. And you can see here, I'm shooting the odd time just because it's a little overwhelmed and I'm not fully buffed in this particular part of the fight, but not dropping. And there's nothing they can do, and I'm being swarmed. The mutant hounds down there, they're melee, so it's not reflecting any melee, which is kind of a hindrance to this. But and you can see Ricochet, even though at max rank it has an 18% chance of proccing, it's proccing all the time. It's constant. And you see the cue, the visual cue, but you also hear that little swing that it gives off, and that's how you know it's working, and it's working all the time. This build, it works for power armor, it works for non-power armor, it works for bloodied or low health, it works for full health. And I just wanted to show you some of the gameplay here before we really get into some of the real details, to show you the different scenarios where it's really viable. And even if you're a stealth commando build, which we're going to get into because I have a stealth commando in here, it's so viable because you still got to do the daily ops. You don't have to, but I mean, some of the good stuff comes from there. So here we are. We're going into West Tech. These are my typical buffs, just to, you know, they're the easy ones. The mutations are the typical mutations without going fully crazy. And this is just, I'm not even spec'd into an assault rifle at all. No combat rifle. And watch it. I'll just run around for the most part and not shoot, just to show the power of this build. And it won't matter. I'm probably going to want to take out those mutant hounds, but I'm trying to aggro everything, which is now kind of working. And watch how often Ricochet procs, because you gotta remember, it's it's that 18% chance per shot. So especially when you get into enemies that have such a high fire rate, like some of these super mutants, you have a chance to just get constant healing. And obviously, if you're using a vampire's weapon, the faster fire rate gives you a much more healing. Ideally, these heavy gunners, you want a vampire's minigun or gauss rifle, because then you're not going down at all. But look here, I'm just standing here, not shooting anything, and I'm pretty much maintaining full health. And that's the beauty of this. I'm also running dodgy. You can see my AP dropping a lot, so I do run dodgy on this character. And the nice thing about using dodgy and ricochet is it's all damage mitigation. On the melee side, I do use blocker, and it mitigates 45%. Same with fireproof mitigates. This game is built around damage mitigation instead of damage resistance. So damage resistance, you're still taking the damage in, which in turn lowers your armor. And now we're on the stealth build. The mitigation, what it does is it doesn't even affect you, so your gear lasts longer, and that's always nice. So again, just your typical buffs here, typical mutations, just things to keep the AP up, a little bit more perception for Empower Armor. This is all stuff that you just grow in your garden. It's super simple, right? Super simple. And this is low health, and I'm not even in Nerd Rage yet. You'll see here, like there's Serendipity, which is also, if you're not in Power Armor, there's a few extra perks you can take that just helps with survivability. But look, no problem. No VATs, no problem at all. Just taking them out. They're clearly hitting me, and you'd think, you know, with this amount of incoming fire, I mean, right here, they're just this is a unyielding. I'm not even full Secret Service. It's full unyielding, but there's no bolstering there's no bolstering mods to it. It's just basic unyielding, whatever I was lucky enough to get. I haven't been rolling enough times to really get the perfect rolls yet. But look, Serendipity, 40% chance to not take damage. Nerd Rage keeps kicking in and out because of the healing. So I didn't reduce the rad, so it's constant healing coming up. And this is a full run and gun commando, which is perfect. You got a stealth bloodied build, which is completely viable now for all of the daily ops, which stealth won't apply in. No problem. And I just wanted to show this part here because this is a real fast fire rate, and look, the health bar. It just, I'm not going down, just standing there. He's gonna end up killing himself. You know, it's awesome. There's no more worries. He did end up killing himself here. Okay, so now we're just gonna get into what this build really needs to click here. Obviously, we're using a vampire's weapon, so your weapon of choice doesn't matter. Preferably something faster fire rate, but it doesn't really matter. And then obviously ricochet. The key to it all is ricochet. So the more you can use that, the better. And the nice thing, when you max it out, 18% chance to deflect back some of the enemy's range damage. In power armor, you're also going to want to use dodgy, which 30% chance at max to avoid 30% chance of incoming damage. So again, mitigation, you're not taking it, not damaging your equipment. Okay, and to supplement dodgy, you're going to want to run with action boy. So action points regenerate 45% faster. If you want to run low health, Nerd Rage still has a part in this game, because while below 20% health, you get 40 damage resist, which is, you know, neither here nor there. The damage, which is now additive, not multiplicative, but it's 15% AP regen, also helps. When I'm in power armor, I'm using the kinetic servos to, you know, as I move, I build up action points. And I use the kinetic dynamo chest, which is, as I take damage, I build up action points. And all of that synergizes well with dodgy. So it's just kind of planning your build out and going accordingly. Anything else there for fireproof? Obviously, for every build. I think every build should take fireproof. 45% less from explosions and flame attacks. It just helps in a lot of scenarios. And blocker, again, for every build. Maybe not so much for stealth, but you know, it's as a stealth, you don't need much strength. I take it for, you know, in the daily ops. You know, 45% melee. Again, mitigation, all mitigation. Now, if you are running non-power armor, there's two things that I like to take on top, and one of them is evasive. just because it's in a stealth. The stealth commando builds are usually maxed out on their agility anyway, so this gives you that little bit of buff for damage resist, which does help. And the big one though, when you're not in stealth, is serendipity. While below 30% health, now again, low health builds only, you get that 45% chance to avoid damage. Procs all the time. You use that and ricochet with evasive. It's crazy. It's crazy. You never have to worry about taking damage again. So that's the build. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, let me know, have you already found this out? This was kind of new to me, but when I found it out, it was awesome. Is this something you're going to want to try out now? Are you know, struggling a little bit with One Wastelanders? You know, Steel Dawn is coming. It's dropping late November, early December. So, I mean, this is a great chance if you're getting back into the game. This is a great way to survive some of the end game stuff. Okay? As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help us out. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. We love the support. And as always, we'll see you again in the Wasteland.